We were just having a conversation where you mentioned whenever you want to feel calm, you listen to metal songs.
I'm very bad at advising people.
Yeah, I don't see music the way Beatles made it now. Why do you think that is happening? Why do we don't have legends like Beatles or Michael Jackson?
Producing music has become easier. Everybody has the facilities to just go on a computer, create music, what they have inside their head, just throw it out.
The trend of making something viral is so strong that it demands you कि आप ये particular गाना सुनो. अगर आपने ये particular गाना नहीं सुना तो you might not be accepted in the society, or you might not have something to talk about with somebody.
The trends should untrend. That's what I feel. I have it in my genes. My father, he's a brilliant musician himself, although he did not pursue music professionally ever.
Okay.
Similar story as mine, which I'll come to later on. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be.
What's the kind of music trend that you would like to see disappear forever?
Bollywood.
So are you working on some intricate, detailed project as of now, or?
This particular application, for which we are creating the user experience, aims to create a social media environment which is only going to have meaningful content. So yes, I really hope that this app makes it big in the world, because the world needs it.
A better place.
Yes. World definitely needs more apps like these.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Expert Tales. I am Simran, your host, and today's episode is going to be very special, as we will be exploring the beautiful world of music and its significance in one's life. To make this conversation even better, today we have amongst us Mr. Abhishek Vasudev, who is a loyal music admirer and bit of an artist himself. He's currently working as a successful AVP Design at Group Seasia for more than a decade now. Along with his long successful journey as an IT professional, he has also managed to pursue his love for music. With him, we'll explore how he strikes balance between following his passion and his career, and how he develops creative solutions out of it. So Abhishek, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. Thank you so much for having me on this show. It's a great morning.
Yeah.
It's a perfect way to start the day, actually.
Perfect. I mean, okay, so the very first thing that I would want to ask you, and I think that's a very juvenile question, but still it's in my head, so I'll go ahead with it.
Please.
Whenever a group of friends or family plans a trip, we always picture a scenario where everybody is sitting by the bonfire. You always have that one person that you so dearly need who knows how to play the guitar. And without that particular scene, the trip seems to be incomplete. Why do you think we need that element, that person with the guitar, playing an instrument, singing songs so badly in every trip we go?
So if I think about it, that yes, whenever I go out, whenever I'm invited by any of my friends or any of the group, I'm one person who is expected to bring his guitar or other instruments along with him, because it helps them elevate their experience of that moment. There are times when they want to sing, have a good time, and I help them have that experience through my music. Although I'm somebody who's not, very outgoing or an extrovert, or who will have a lot of fun, but through my music, I can probably help people have that moment and have that fun. So maybe that's why.
Okay, that's perfect. I mean, I personally wanted that, that person in the group to have more respect. I believe if that element is missing, the trip will feel incomplete.
So I think, yes, the respect is always there, because without that person, the trip somehow remains incomplete. So
Yes.
let's say that if I'm unavailable for a particular trip, then the plan gets postponed just to accommodate me or my guitar. So
I mean, why not? So, Abhishek, you very beautifully said that you're not of an extrovert person yourself, but somehow your music compensates for you. So, the things that you might not be able to say, you say it through music. So, does that reflect about your personality? Do you think that musicians have a certain type of personalities that is different from other people?
I think musicians pay a lot of importance to the emotions. That's what I feel. They are, they pay a lot of attention to what is soulful. As I've already mentioned, emotions are very important. They are very much into themselves rather than what's going around them. So they are maybe involved with what's going on inside them. So they just want to emote what's going on inside them through their music. So that's what I feel, that a lot of musicians that I've met have turned out to be introverts. That is because there is something going on inside them. They are listening to them instead of listening to the world around them and participating in them. So that's what maybe contributes to their introvertness, if I may call it.
Right.
So yes, it is about emotions, soul, and not a lot about practicality and materialism.
I think that's super, because today we live in a world of, I would say, so much social media that you want to connect with people who could, like you said, have that emotional touch, have that something soul searching. So I think I would personally prefer talking to somebody who's more like that rather than sit on my phone and have meaningless conversations. I think that is why there's a reason people are getting into music.
Yes.
Or listening music.
Absolutely. And just like you said that you would like to have that kind of content over social media to view. So I would like to say that, this is somewhere artificial intelligence is doing a great job. Like if you have some preference about content, it shows you that type of content only. So if you go check out my Instagram feed, you'll find a lot of music reels over there instead of other, meaningless stuff. So that kind of, whenever you pick up your phone, view something, it kind of motivates you, inspires you, and it sets the tone for your mood at that particular time. So yeah.
So do you also think introverts or extrovert people in general have different music preferences? Like some section of the introverts would particularly listen to one type of music because of their personality. Or sometimes, even the extroverts would listen to music which is so mellow. The introverts would listen to music which is so energetic. Do you think there's a difference as well?
Well, I have come across a few extrovert people who are very much into, mellow music, or you can say soulful music. So, although it makes sense that, an introvert person is expected to dive deeper into the details of the music, which an extrovert person might not, because then they have a lot of other stuff going on in their mind. And whereas an introvert will be paying a lot of attention to what's going on inside the ears. So if we think about it, then it can have an impact on the kind of music they prefer. But I have seen examples of extrovert people, listening to really meaningful, deep classical music as well. So
that's the irony. I mean,
that's a very, that's a contrast
Yes.
to what they are.
Yes, I mean,
So
we were just having a conversation where you mentioned whenever you want to feel calm, you listen to metal songs. How does
it depends on the situations. Let's say that I'm feeling disturbed inside. There is a lot of noise inside. So at that point, just to calm myself down, I might listen to metal, because I feel that metal is supposed to have some sort of aggression, some sort of high energy.
If I say in layman language, loud.
Loud.
Yes, very loud.
So what I feel is that those energies clash, and it helps, things to calm down. So, yeah.
I find it very fascinating that, if I talk about personalities, people who are so calm on the outside are so confused or so mixed in the inside, but people who are so loud outside are calm inside.
Well, I recently read a statement on this, that people who are quiet are quiet because there is a lot going on inside them. So
and I think music helps channel those thoughts better.
Yes,
it does, right? Perfect.
So in a way, I kind of connect with that statement, because whenever you're listening to your inner voices, you tend to be quieter.
Yeah, that's
because you're not listening to the other people around you.
That's even better. I mean, why not? Could you just share a few metal songs with our audiences so that they could also have some reference?
Well, lately I've been listening to one track that has been on the loop for me. It's Stranglehold by Ted Nugent.
Okay.
So it's basically metal based on blues. So that's a very interesting combination.
Right.
You listen to it, you hear the grains of the guitar, electric guitar, and you also hear the mellow notes of blues. So it's a beautiful combination. I think you should also listen to it once.
Sure,
definitely.
We'll definitely dive into it, and I'll try whenever I am, because I am an ambivert. I'll stay quiet sometimes and I'll be very talkative sometimes. So I'll find my balance between, and I'll see how I can adjust metal into my life.
I am quite sure that you will love that track.
Okay, perfect. I think it's a recommendation then.
Definitely.
Okay. So what I wanted to know from you was, when it comes to music, I have witnessed not a drastic, but a shift from the kind of music that was made earlier and the kind of music that is made now.
That's very true.
Yeah, I don't see music the way Beatles made it now. Why do you think that is happening? Why do we don't have legends like Beatles or Michael Jackson, now?
To be honest, I do not listen to a lot of music that is being produced nowadays.
Yeah,
maybe because I do not connect with it. Maybe there is a generation gap. This music somehow doesn't hit me.
Why do you think that is happening? Because that music, I know my grandfather would listen to the Beatles song. My father is listening to the Beatles song. I am listening to the Beatles song. That was somehow written so long ago, but is relevant now.
That is because a lot of importance was being given to what they were producing. You must have known that Beatles did not produce an album for quite a number of years. And then they decided to come to India. They stayed here at an ashram in Rishikesh for over a year. Wrote down their music. They used to meditate. They used to, connect with what they were trying to produce.
Right.
And finally, when they were satisfied with what they were planning to produce, only then did they decide to come out with an album.
Yes.
So nowadays, there are so many opportunities. Like producing music has become easier. Everybody has the has the facilities to just go on a computer, create music, what they have inside their head, just throw it out. They somehow, having those facilities, I think they do not struggle enough with what they are trying to produce. Whatever they are feeling at that moment, they just, throw it out. And that's why a lot of thought doesn't go into what they are trying to produce. And that could be one of the reasons,
Yeah, I mean, like you rightly mentioned, they followed a process which had a lot of discipline.
Yes.
They gave it time. I think that is what is missing from today's music.
And then we had selected bands. Only those who were really good, made it big. Only those who were really meaningful, who could produce that kind of quality, could produce albums, because records would reach out to them and produce their music. Now, anybody can just, create something on computer, post it over YouTube, and there'll be listeners.
Yeah. And I think nowadays there's a concept going of a hook line, which is just the main line, and the other part is
just to create a catchy rhythm, and that's it.
I think that is why there's a shift and people are still listening to the old song, because I remember my dad saying ki music to pehle hota tha, abhi to there's nothing.
And there's another thing, like like you mentioned, there has to be a hook line, there has to be a catchy rhythm to everything. So considering the amount of stress that we are going through, people want to unwind over the weekend, they go to clubs, they don't want to listen to, let's say, Beatles or Pink Floyd. They would like to listen to something which is catchy while, having a drink or two, just to feel a little lighter. So something that they can, shake their leg to. So maybe that is a trend that has played its part in music.
And I think some people have found the loophole. So let's say there were pretty famous bands or pretty famous solo artists before, and then there are the artists and bands of now. But there's a slow rise that I would say is coming up, or the next revolution is coming up, is the fact that people are now listening to local artists.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
Why do you think that is happening?
That is, in fact, one of the positives that's emerging out of the facilities that we have. It's because, as I said, that everybody has the facility. Like, if I want to produce music, I just need to spend some time in front of the computer. I need to record some stuff. I need to make a little effort, and I should be done with it. And I should be able to produce my stuff.
Yes.
And since I have a broadcasting channel, it'll reach out to people, and there are always going to be people who will like your stuff. There are people with so many different tastes.
Find your audience. Yes.
So that's one of the positives that's coming up these days. That is one of the advantages of technology, I think, that local musicians are getting audience.
But like you mentioned that for Beatles, let's say, for Beatles, they took some time, they took a break, they meditated, they followed a discipline. And just now you said that all you need today is a computer and you have the music. So there's a change in the process.
Yes.
What I wanted to understand was, is the process causing the people not liking it, or is the quality of the music that is being produced which is not liked by people?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
So earlier Beatles followed a process, right? They were disciplined. They knew that if I have to get something out, it better be valuable.
Yes.
Now all you have to do is sit in front of the computer.
True.
And the value quotient is less, the marketing quotient is more. Right? So is that the reason why people are not listening to it, or it is not becoming a sensation like it used to before? Or is it something else?
One of the reasons can be there are so many music options available. Like there is so much of diverse music available that one thing doesn't get that kind of attention that it should. Like earlier, As I said, that there were only a number of bands which you could count on fingers. So whenever, let's say, Pink Floyd came out with an album, the whole world knew that Pink Floyd has produced an album, and they'll just run and get a record for them. So that is also one of the reasons, I think. And nowadays, all you have to do is just look for something.
Playlists like workout playlists.
Yes, you just need to check out your mood, search for that, and you'll get millions of songs, which you might not even listen to, again. So it plays once, it goes to the next track. You don't even know what track did I listen to, before this.
Right.
So it's like that.
So this is my observation. Hubby, social media is something that everybody needs every day. And the trend of making something viral is so strong that it demands you कि आप ये particular गाना सुनो. अगर आपने ये particular गाना नहीं सुना तो you might not be accepted in the society, or you might not have something to talk about with somebody. तो मेरे को ऐसा लगता है that people are not really aware of what kind of music they want to hear. They are just being forced by social media कि आप ये सुनो.
Actually, जो trends हैं, I think they have spoiled the choices and life.
Exactly.
आप figure out नहीं कर पाते हो कि आपको क्या अच्छा लग रहा है. The music that you connect to. Just like you said, you might not be socially accepted if you don't know about a particular trend. So this particular situation I face a lot of times.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm very familiar with it, and it is an awkward situation, to be honest. ऐसे लगता है कि बहुत like you belong to some other world altogether.
Yeah.
You are the odd one out.
Yeah. Yes.
Socially unacceptable, totally. But I'm not a big fan of trends, to be honest. Again, wahi ke it is a bhed jal, if we may call it.
Exactly.
तो अगर कुछ चल रहा है वही चलता रहेगा, and everybody is bound to listen to that, follow that, to be called happening, to be accepted socially. Otherwise, you are an old school.
Yeah, there's no harm in being that, but you're not much in number.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The trends should untrend. That's what I feel.
Please.
Let's sign up for that.
So what I wanted to know from you is there a way that, maybe you could advise people to understand कि उनकी choice क्या है music की? Is there a process people should follow to understand that?
I am very bad at advising people.
What would you say about it?
I think it is very important to disconnect from social media. To, technology detox that we call.
Right.
Only then will you be able to spend some time with yourself. Only then will you be able to listen to your inner voice. Only then will you be able to figure out what you like, what you dislike, and तभी वो एक connection बन पाएगा with the music that defines you, that belongs to you. That's what I feel.
I mean, since you know what actual music is and what significance it can have in one's life, if given an opportunity, what kind of music will you create and what will be the thought behind it? Just define your process. I mean, I would be really interested to know.
Just when you said that, I know music, so that brought a big smile on my face, because music is such a vast field.
Yeah.
Okay, I barely know even 1% of the details of the music. So yeah, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
If I were to produce my own music, I think it will totally depend on what my mental status at that given point of time. Usually, आपने notice किया होगा that I'm quiet most of the times.
Yes.
I'm trying to, focus on the positivity around me. I'm trying to focus on the meaningful things around me. So I think अगर मैं अभी अपने आप को decode करूँ, I might produce something on coffee, books, good vibes, something around that.
Okay. I think a lot of corporate people would need that, given the fact we are so moving fast in this field. Something related to this will work, and I would suggest you to start working on it.
Yes, we need to promote slow life. So yes, my music definitely is going to have that sense.
So what I understood from what you said was, just concluding a little bit of what you said, music makes you a good listener. It makes you a better person in terms of understanding what other person is saying. Also, it gives you some sense of calm. So you give a situation a certain pause and then act upon it. How do you think those personality traits help you work better in your corporate sector? Were there any situations where client demanded something and you took a little bit of a backseat and then responded, and that did wonders to you?
You mentioned a lot of things which I totally connect with, like being a good listener. I think that's one of the traits. If you are a good listener, you will understand your music.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah. And how it helps us handle the pressures of the corporate world better. It's like, definitely we tend to deal with a lot of pressures in the IT world. There are, a lot of tasks, multiple tasks that we need to deal at any given point of time. There is pressure of deliveries. There is pressure of, client demands as well. So you must have, and, being the leader of a particular team, what I need to take care of is that I need to make sure that each resource is performing to its, best or full capacity. And I also need to ensure how happy they are at work. So all those things, are going through your mind at any given point of time. So you might have seen that a lot of times when I come to the office early in the morning. I just sit there in front of my laptop. I put on some music. So it helps me disconnect from the world. It helps me focus on one task at a time. It helps me streamline all those tasks. So while I'm listening to that music for, let's say, half an hour, 45 minutes, I'm done with, organizing or streamlining all my tasks for that day.
Yes.
So
you plan better.
Yes. It kind of declutters the mind, and that increases the focus on any particular task. So it definitely helps, improve the productivity and the quality of the work.
Perfect.
For sure.
So just to top up this conversation, so you work as an assistant vice president of design at Group Seasia, and you're wearing a very beautiful t-shirt that denotes it. So when it comes to UI UX, how do you combine the two, the details you get from listening to music and then convert it into art and then present it to the world?
I think you've answered this question yourself.
So, you've influenced and advised me.
So if I were to answer this question, I think it is going to be that when it comes to music as well as art as well as design, there are a lot of intricacies involved. lot of small details that you need to pick. So while listening to music or playing music, you need to pay attention to a lot of small details that make it a great piece, or that make it a great listening session. Right. And similarly, while you are creating art or while you are designing, you pay a lot of attention to minor details that a lot of other people tend to ignore. But that what makes it a world-class design or a world-class art piece. So yes, all those intricacies, paying attention to those intricacies, that's what the secret is.
So are you working on some intricate detailed project as of now, or are there any specific things that you're doing?
There is a very interesting project that I should mention over here that we've been working lately. We've been talking about emotional quotient all throughout this conversation.
Yes.
So this project also has an emotional quotient to it. It is based on HumanTech.
Okay.
So why we call it HumanTech is you must be aware of all the negative impacts that social media has had on the mental health of a lot of people. There is a lot of trolling going on. There are a lot of comments full of hatred, and then people are always trying to gather more likes. So just the race to get more likes, has a really bad impact on their mental health. So this particular application, for which we are creating the user experience, aims to create a social media environment which is only going to have meaningful content. The content which has the capacity to influence others' lives. There is no way that others can post comments, like meaningless comments, negative comments. There is no way that anybody can like what you've posted. They can only thank you for what you've posted, and they can respond to your message as a video, as let's say a message of a few nice words to it, or let's say that you've set a trend, a nice trend which can influence others' lives. So others are following you. They can create their own video, doing that same stuff and post it as a response to your particular post.
Perfect.
So yes, I really hope that this app makes it big in the world, because the world needs it.
A better place.
Yes. World definitely needs more apps like these.
Perfect. I think with revolutions like this, people will try to filter out what they don't need in their lives, and that will help them, as you said, take out time to understand themselves better, and then probably we'll go back to the time where soulful music or meaningful music was being created.
Definitely.
So, while the idea of this app is so interesting, what I wanted to know was, are there any filters for people to post stuff? Like you mentioned, you will not get any irrelevant information on it. So like, is there a category or is there a process that people will follow after which only they can post? Is there something like that?
So the plan is कि हर कोई इसमें post नहीं कर पाएगा. You can register as a viewer. Then you have to go through certain steps, through a certain qualifying steps to be able to qualify as a somebody who should be able to post in the application.
Okay.
So like let's say कि उसमें 1 million users हैं, not all the users will be able to post. Only a few who have qualified for that job should be able to post. And then definitely there is going to be limited content because there are limited posters who have already qualified, who know what to post and what kind of content is acceptable. And still, agar usme kuch issues aa jate hain, the poster doesn't come to know that there is something wrong with the content, the content will be moderated, definitely.
Okay, that's perfect. That will definitely, present a type of content to the world that is still relevant and not something you could just scroll up and forget about.
Yes, that's what the aim of the application is.
Yeah, that's perfect. Abhishek, abhi maine notice kiya that you have a sound knowledge of sound. Let's say sound. Let me be very generous. So you have a sound knowledge of music, and then UI UX, and then technical knowledge since you are into IT industry. ये सब root कहाँ से हो रहा है? Is it some childhood story that we would be interested to know?
All right. If I go back in time, if I go back to my childhood, I think ये सब मुझे gift में मिला है. Art, music, and inclination towards creative stuff. So I have it in my genes. Mere father, he's a brilliant musician himself, although he did not pursue music professionally ever.
Okay, great.
Similar story as mine, which I'll come to later on. So he has great knowledge of art as well. He understands the intricacies of an art piece. He'll look at something, he'll get involved in that. He'll express his views about that. So I think ये सारी conditioning वहीं से हुई है. Since childhood, I've been listening to him. I've been observing how he looks at objects, how he listens to music. Like even जब वो music सुनते हैं, you have to see him. Like he pays so much of detail to small things. He'll pause at some step. He'll explain that to me. कि इसमें ये हुआ. Did you understand that? As a child, when I could not even understand those details.
Right.
So I think this conditioning comes from there. And similarly, I think my sisters are also, they have that artistic instincts in them.
Okay,
so,
perfect.
Yeah. So this has come through my genes.
Okay.
And as far as being in the IT industry is concerned, I think it is a very unfortunate story that a lot of people in my generation have had.
I know what you're about to say. I think I'll be able to relate it to as well.
So while we were studying, I think you were given only two options to earn respect in the family, in the society. Either you had to take up medical stream or you had to take up non-medical stream.
Right.
You could not think about taking up arts, fine arts.
No,
that was like,
not acceptable.
Totally socially unacceptable.
Right.
Like you would go through depression. Your relatives will taunt you so much. Right?
Yeah.
So the only option that I had was to take up non-medical because I was a little logical. That comes from my mother's side.
Good combination of two.
So I graduated in computer science. I'm by education I'm a programmer.
Okay.
So it is a very pleasant accident that happened that I turned out to be a designer.
Right.
After my graduation, I joined an entertainment portal. It was a very famous entertainment portal of that time.
Okay.
In India and in the world.
Okay.
So usme they used to you must have heard about that trend that we had. There used to be e-cards.
Okay. Yes.
In the early 2000s.
Yes. Yeah.
So e-cards were big. So it was an entertainment portal that provided digital art as wallpapers.
Right.
And you also had the options to send e-cards to your friends on the website. So I joined that entertainment portal as a web designer, as a coder who could take care of the portal. But later on, during the free time that I had, I started drawing something in Photoshop. The people over there saw that, and they figured out that I had that capability of creating digital art, which could go on the portal. So dhire dhire I started creating those digital arts, which went on as wallpapers. I then started creating e-cards also.
Okay.
So there is, if you have sent e-cards to your friends,
Yes.
so there is a possibility that those could have been created by me.
Okay. Great.
So then, yes, that was the start of my designing career. Then I gradually moved to UI design, which is not all about, what you are feeling. It is about involving the technicalities.
Yes.
As well as, understanding the emotions of the users also.
Yes.
So you have to not give importance to what you are feeling. You have to give importance to what others are feeling, along with incorporating all the technicalities of the technology as well.
Yes. Yes.
So that's how I became a designer by accident, fortunately.
Yes.
But yes, it was always inside me.
Yes.
And I'm glad that I was lucky enough that God guided me into this field. Otherwise, I would also have been programming, sitting somewhere.
I mean, that's not bad.
Cursing my life.
That's not a bad profession, but yes, I think it channeled the correct way for you.
Yes.
Right. So like you mentioned, you used to observe your father. तो वो कोई ऐसे instruments play करते थे जो आप अब करते हो, और अगर आप करते हैं तो कौन से instruments हैं that you can play?
जो मैंने अपने फादर को देखा है, he played flute very beautifully.
Right.
He played, there was an instrument called banjo. It is not very popular anymore.
Yes.
He played mouth organ. And he has, like natural knowledge of rhythm.
Right.
Like he'll listen to something and he'll groove with the rhythm and he'll create something out of that.
Right.
So I think I get it from him. I'll tell you a very interesting story that I think I was in third or fourth standard.
Right.
My father went to Calcutta and from there he got 2 flutes, one for himself and one for me as a gift.
Okay.
He gave it to me. He thought that I'll, play around with it, fiddle around with it. So what happened one day was, वो एक ट्यून प्ले कर रहे थे फ्लूट पे. I watched him and after some time I followed him and I played that tune.
Little did he know that you have the genetic magic.
And he was also surprised. He said, "बड़ा easily play कर ले तू तो." And then he, gave me a little knowledge about the technicalities of flute, technicalities of surs of music.
Right.
And that was, I think, my only lesson in music. That I took from him. Right. और उसके बाद वही again it is a gift. I listen to something, I'm able to play it.
Right.
So
I see a very bright future of yours in music. By the things you have been saying, I see that you will.
Well, I'm not sure about that. As I said, that I've never pursued it professionally. It's a gift that I have wasted. That a lot of people tell me that I've wasted it. And it is a fact that I have also accepted now.
But then facts can be changed. That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay.
And it is something that comes naturally. So I hope to pay attention to it someday and produce something meaningful. And जो आपने question पूछा था कि how many instruments I play? A flute is one. Guitar is another. I play mouth organ also. I can play a little bit of percussion also, like all the rhythm instruments. Like I can give beat to any particular track.
Like tabla.
Yes, all those things. I've been playing cajon also. It's a drum that you sit on and then you produce rhythm with it.
Clapbox, like
Clapbox.
people
It is.
usually
It
say.
is
Yeah.
another name for Clapbox.
Okay.
So,
So, you'll be surprised to know that we have a flute in house and we also have a guitar. So, like, the choice is up to you. What would you like to play for everybody?
well, it is your podcast, and the choice is also going to be yours. So, what exactly do you want me to play?
It would be great, since we've been mentioning so much about Beatles, if you could, tune up something from the Beatles band.
I think I'll be very happy to do that. That's
Great.
my kind of music.
Yeah, great.
So, this is Beatles for you. And disclaimer, I'm not a singer.
Okay,
I just
perfect.
play instruments. I'm not blessed with a very melodious voice. So, I hope
That's
to
okay.
do justice to a song by the gods.
Perfect.
Okay. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, whispering words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. No woman, no cry. 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 No woman, no cry.
Thank you so much.
I hope I did justice to those great voices.
Trust me, I am hearing some sort of whisper in my ears, and they are thanking you for keeping the music alive.
I was just hoping that you would sing along. You did not.
No. Thank you so much. I think if it was up to me, I would have never stopped you. This could go on.
And I'm glad I got to play some music. I hope it was not bad. I hope it was entertaining.
It was not nearly bad. Not at all.
I'm glad.
Just to ask you, is there something that you do that keeps you close to your music? Do you have regular music sessions, or do you have something like that?
Okay, that's a very interesting question.
Okay, perfect.
Actually, yeah. One thing that I really wanted to talk about, we have an in-house band within the organization. So,
Perfect.
so one good thing about the organization that it lets you nurture your personal goals as well. So we were, all the musicians within the organization got together and formed a band.
Okay, perfect.
It's called the Jam Room.
Okay.
So yes, we do have regular sessions. Like we meet at least once a week,
Okay.
and sometimes over the weekend also.
Okay.
And we have little small jam sessions every time we meet. So yes, I would love for you to visit us someday. Join
Okay,
the jam
perfect.
sessions.
That's exciting. I did not know that that's happening. That's great.
It is very exciting actually.
That's great. That's great.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So it helps the place you work. I mean, it helps you stay connected to your passion. I think that's great.
Absolutely. Late in the evening when you are tired, when you are, your mind has lost all the energies. You go to the session, play some music. You get some solace. You get some emotional energy back.
Perfect,
So
yes.
it's like a perfect ending to the day,
Perfect. I
and
mean,
you get some inspiration for the next day as well.
the right way to detox.
Yes, absolutely. Perfect.
Perfect. So just when we talked about detox, there are a set of questions that I would like to ask you. I think
Okay, I'm
That
not
will-
very comfortable with that.
that will, I think, help us know you better. Okay, are you ready? So the disclaimer,
No.
the disclaimer of it is that you have to be quick. Okay, so
Okay,
Just-
that's not one of my traits.
okay.
Let's see what I do.
Hoping for the best. Right. Okay. So the song you wish you would have written.
Okay. It is there in my mind. It's like I'm scared to name it. It's like Chota Muh Badi Baat, as they say. So, Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin.
Perfect. That's one of
It-
my favorite songs.
Yes, it is supposed to be the greatest song ever written. It's poetry, it's philosophy, it's music, all put together in one track.
The perfect combination.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, जैसे classical music में they touch their hands, so I should also do that while naming this track.
Okay. The artist that made you want to become a music lover.
I think that's a difficult question, to be honest. I think the artist who has inspired me a lot lately is David Gilmour,
Okay.
the lead singer and lead guitarist of Pink Floyd.
What time of the day or when do you feel most inspired by music or you want to create music?
There is essentially no time of the day, basically, but usually I get time in the evening. So that's when I usually pick up my guitar or flute and, play something, disturb my family. But that's my time.
That's your time.
That's the time that I feel most inspired.
Perfect. Which is that one song that you would love to listen to on repeat?
It's a very difficult question. There are a lot of tracks that I love that I can listen to on loop. But there is this one song that I discovered yesterday and I've listened to it for at least 10 times since yesterday. It's Until I Meet You
Okay.
by Hermanos Gutierrez. So it's a Spanish artist.
Okay.
It's essentially a guitar track. It's
Okay.
a guitar piece.
Okay.
Very beautiful.
Perfect. What's the kind of music trend that you would like to see disappear forever?
Bollywood.
The hook step thing that we mentioned?
Contemporary Bollywood. Like if there are 100 movies being produced, only one of those is going to have good music.
Good
Most
music.
of them are, I call it shallow music. I don't know whether I should use that word, but
Fine.
according to me, that's a very shallow music.
Okay, fine. That's okay. Who would be your three people if you could form a band? The fourth one being you.
Well, as I told you, we already have a band of 7 people. So it's hard to choose three from them.
Let's say some famous people.
Again, Chota Muh Badi Baat. David Gilmour,
Okay.
Jimmy Page, Robert Plant. They are 3, but this list can go on. Like there are a lot of other people that I would like to name in this list.
Okay, perfect. If you could take anyone, dead or alive, out for a meetup, who would it be and why? Preferably from the music industry.
I believe it would be Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I
A
think
big fan. I cried the day he passed away. I was heartbroken.
yes.
I really wish to meet him, and I really wish that he was alive and producing the music that he produced.
You see,
Those
that
days.
is something that is missing. Like, I don't
Yes,
see
yes,
that
yes.
kind of connection with music artists. Like, I know it was a deal. When the day it happened, the world
Absolute-
stopped. for some
Absolutely,
time.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We lost the greatest star that was ever
Yes.
born.
Yes.
Sad.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So that brings us towards the end of this podcast. How do you feel?
I'm glad that I was able to talk so much.
Being an introvert as you are.
I did not have, high expectations from me.
And I think we deep dived into conversations that were meant to come out and that were meant to be a certain way so that it can help people. So in a way, maybe after listening to this or maybe after hearing to this, people might take a decision to, understand their taste of music, and then we would have some amazing songs.
I really hope, because it is then that they will find themselves.
Yeah, and a lot of people will be inspired by someone like you, who is into IT, who is into corporate for so long and still has that vision, has that passion for music. So I think thank you so much for that.
I hope that somebody gets inspired by my story. I'll be glad if that happens. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. It was a pleasure, absolute pleasure. And I need a coffee now.
Yeah, me too. Cheers. So that brings us towards the end of our first ever episode. I hope you all liked it. And it would be great if you could comment down below what would you like us to discuss next on. Till then, see you soon.